My name is Saurabh Sultania, and I'm responsible for equity products at ICICI Direct and the ICICI Direct platform. So today we will be, having this session into three parts. One is market outlook. So markets are obviously over the last 1.5 months have been, a little, I would say brutal over the next, 6 months to 1 year to a longer time frame. And we're joined by our head of research, Pankaj Pandey. And Pankaj will talk about, what are the factors that we see, driving India's story.
So today I'll talk about the India growth story, which is the strongest ever we have seen up till now. And there is a reason why I say this, because if you are there in the markets, 2003 to 2008 was the best time for the markets. Any large cap index at that point of time delivered about 5.5 times kind of a return. And mid cap and small caps did 9x kind of a return. So that was the best period of the market. And we see some similarity between things which were happening that time and now. So there were two strong themes which were playing out then. One was the real estate as a theme which was doing very well during that period of time. And then you had the capital expenditure or capex as a cycle was doing very well. And we are seeing something similar now also. Not to say that we are going to see similar kind of returns, but economically, the entire ecosystem is in place to sort of do very well.
Now, a lot of schemes have been announced by the government in terms of PLI. We all know that PLI overall benefit is about 2.5 lakh crores, if not more. And if you sort of exclude the semiconductor also, then there are various measures being taken for Atmanirbhar Bharat. So basically, you are looking to sort of do more of import substitution. And we also know that China plus one as a factor is also playing out in some of the sectors. And then you have, we are also looking to sort of do a lot more FTAs with respective countries. So that is also going to sort of help. And with that in perspective, I think India's overall global trade is pretty less. And with these kind of measures being taken, our sense is that overall our share in terms of global trade is expected to sort of go up. On the consumption side, what we clearly see is that if there are about 31 crore households, what would happen is that a household which is earning 30 lakhs, so from 1.4 or 14 million, it is going to more than double to about 35 million by 2030. And good part also is that while the top end of the households are definitely going to do well, what you see is also a substantial decline in the number of households which are earning below lakh. So from 38 million, this number is going to come down to about 20 million by 2030. And you are clearly seeing some of the premiumization benefits coming out. Now, with all this in perspective, our sense is that for the next 5-10 years, these are the sectors which are going to be structurally very positive for the economy. So one obviously is the capex beneficiaries. So you will have core sectors like say capital goods, you have infrastructure, you will have cement and steel which are going to do well. And then you have sectors which are going to have a positive rub-off largely driven by regulations. One of them is banking, and real estate is another sector which is expected to sort of benefit. And then you are, what you are clearly seeing is in terms of bigger trend is the energy transition beneficiaries. So you will have a sector like power doing very well, and you will have a sector like auto doing very well. Now when you look at the texture of this capex, so for example, when you look at say in FY25, the overall capital expenditure is expected to be about 30 lakh crores. Roughly equally split between central government, state government and the private sector. Now, while this is definitely improved over a period of time, but when you go back, look at a year like FY10 or FY9, then what you clearly notice is that that point of time, the central government capex was about 1 lakh crore and private sector capex was 4 to 5 lakh crores. So it used to be 4 to 5 times of what this government capex used to be, and which is why I feel that with corporate balance sheets being in good shape, the private sector leg of the capex is expected to sort of further increase, and that is where I think the further kick is going to come from. So this is one of the themes which is going to remain there for a good period of time. Now, banking is another sector which has seen a fair amount of struggle, and like I said, structurally what has changed, the borrower behavior has changed. Now, when you look at the overall trajectory of earnings, so 2018, the sector made a loss of about 20,000 odd crores, and now when you look at 2024, it is sitting at a profit of 3 lakh crores. So there was a period of time when the government did aggressive, or a lot of PSU banks did aggressive provisioning, and as a result of that, what you see is clearly a turnaround in the fortunes of the banking and financial services sector. Now this sector hasn't done much in terms of price performance perspective. Again, so if you sort of look at the Trump coming in, see, while it is extremely positive, so on the geopolitical front, definitely it is a lot more positive for us. But I think when Trump comes in, his key factors have been to increase tariffs and reduce the corporate tax rate. Now, as a consequence of that, what will happen is that the US market will look a lot more attractive, which means that the kind of FI outflows, what you're seeing, could remain there for some period of time, because if you are seeing corporate tax being cut from say 21% to 15% in US, the US equities are definitely going to do well. So, which is what we have seen last week. US markets are up about 4%. So, so till that time, BFSI or banking, despite a good risk reward, despite RBI taking a lot of extraordinary measures in terms of protecting the sector from creating excesses into particular segment, this sector is another sector which we feel will do very well from an earning perspective, and is quite attractive from a valuation metrics parameters. Coming to corrections, so for example, you will have, I am not really highlighting the kind of risk, because you will have some known risk, you will have some unknown risk in the market, right? But if you see the culmination of this, what it leads to, some correction in the market. So from 2007 onwards, if you look at, you would see that typically large caps have the tendency to correct 10 to 15 odd percent. This year we have seen a correction of 9%. Corrections have been more only in cases when you had a financial crisis in 2008, or you had a COVID issue, right? Otherwise, any normal year, for whatever geopolitical or any kind of a issue, you have seen markets correcting 10 to 15 odd percent. That is with the large caps. Obviously, the mid caps will correct more because they offer higher or better returns. So mid cap, the correction is on the 15 to 25% side, and small caps will have a tendency to correct even more. But the point to highlight is that whatever correction you are seeing in the market is not something dramatically different this time. So it's a pretty normal correction. Every year you will get multiple corrections of such. But overall sense is that structurally, if you are sort of doing okay, so then I think this is something you should not get unnerved with.
Then we've got Jay Thakkar. Jay heads the derivatives research at ICICI Securities. There are many of you who also trade in options segment as well. So for people who trade options, what are the kind of things you should look at? What are the mistakes you should avoid? What are the kind of hedging strategies could you deploy so that your trades are better off? I think is the second part of the session.
Everyone. Now I'm going to take this. So the agenda, I will just quickly say that what I'm going to highlight, or what I'm going to present today, is that how not to fall in a trap of over trading, or probably not utilizing the options or derivatives in a correct way. I mean, people use it this way, whether it is trading or investments. So here we go. Why one should be using options in trading. Why? Right? See, we have seen structural shift in derivatives market in India. Now, India is one of the, I would say, leader in derivative markets, right? And we all have seen, and that's why, the regulators have also taken good steps or good measures basically to control, because it was going out of control. Yeah. But why still? So the reason is, what shift we have seen is from 2008 to 2024 currently is that earlier, when Pankaj mentioned about the good period of 2003 to 2008, the volumes used to happen a lot in future segment. Now what the shift which we have seen is happening in option segment. So in F&O entirely, whatever volumes happen every day, 98% of that happens in options. And options are really good, I would say, as compared to futures. Why? Why we would see that? Typically, I will quickly run through this, that, we have two sort of options, one is call option and put option. Okay. Call option is when we are bullish, put option is when we are bearish. It's from the buying perspective, right? Typically what we see, friends, is that option buyers, of that 90%, those who are losing money in markets, in derivatives trading, is on the retail segment, I'm saying more of, are on the option buying side. Okay. And generally we see the pro traders on the option selling side. So why are they making money, the remaining 10%, and 90% people losing, is because they're on the buying side, options buying side. Why? Because the investment which is required in option buying is typically less, right? As compared to option selling, which requires the margin as good as option futures. But then what happens is, you are attracted towards that. Bhai, mera 10-15,000 mein kaam ho jata hai. I'm buying an option, I am bullish or bearish in the market, I am participating in market with the use of 10-15,000 rupees probably, right? But the probability of success in options buying is 33% technically, or by the formula. What's the formula? Is that, see, these are the trends in market. One is, the first one you see in the call option side is that markets are bullish and you are buying call option, right? When you are buying a call option, say if you see ITC, Reliance, I'm bullish for Reliance for this month, or for probably, M&M for this month, I'm buying call option. But if M&M goes up, you are making money in call option. What if M&M remains sideways or it goes down? You're losing, right? So there are only typically three trends in markets: up, sideways, or down. When you are buying call option, you will make money only if market goes up, right? Baki do event mein you are losing money. So what is the probability of winning? 1 by 3, which is 33%. Sir, तो 33% probability के साथ आप, so when you are tossing a coin, what is it? Head or tails? 50%. मैं आपको पूछूं, सर क्या है, आप हेड आएगा कि टेल आएगा? आपका जीतने का चांस 50% तो है, बट यहाँ पे तो 33% है. It's even less than that. So when it's less than that, you should be buying or selling. Probably you should be selling options, right? Because 66% वहाँ पे. But it's not that easy to sell option, because वहाँ पे losses भी unlimited है. So when to do what is very important in options. See, timing is very much important in options. Got that? Now, see, that's generally the payoff of options. I know you all must be knowing, but मैं इसीलिए highlight किया कि why people are more attracted towards option buying is investment कम है, and second is the payoff. If you look, पहले ऊपर का जो payoff है ना, दो chart, long call और long put. When market goes up, you are making unlimited profit, right? So आपने रिलायंस का कॉल ले लिया, और रिलायंस ये महीने में अगर 5%, 10% अप है, तो आपका 10 रुपये वाला कॉल 50 रुपये हो सकता है. अनलिमिटेड प्रॉफिट, 10 के सामने 50, 1:5, यू आर मेकिंग गुड. एंड लॉसेज आर लिमिटेड. कल जियोपॉलिटिकल टेंशंस अब कम होने के चांसेस है बिकॉज ऑफ प्रेसिडेंट ट्रम्प, एंड मगर समझो वो नहीं होता, नीचे जाता है फॉर व्हाटसोएवर रीजन, यू आर लाइक 10 ही रुपये जा रहा है ना मेरा. सो दैट इज एन एडवांटेज कि 10 रुपये के सामने मुझे 50 मिल रहा है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल. Hence people are attracted. On the flip side, if you see, when you are shorting options, wherein the probability of success is higher, so that's on your favor. मैं बेच रहा हूँ, मेरा चांसेस ही जीतने का ज़्यादा है. 67% एग्जाम में लाने की भी लोगों की हालत ख़राब हो जाती है, फर्स्ट क्लास लाने की. तो यहाँ पे आपको इजीली मिलता है, तो ऑब्वियसली अच्छा है. बट द नेगेटिव पार्ट इज that it has unlimited loss if you see. Whereas if I'm highlighting, if I have a highlighter here, yeah, I don't know if it's working or not, but आप नीचे देख रहे हो लाइन, तो अगर आपके अगेंस्ट गया तो अनलिमिटेड लॉस हो सकता है. So you need to be timing it very well. Now why option sellers make money? Because option premiums are, or friends I would say, जो start of the day month में होता है. See, every contract has an expiry. Derivatives में you know there is an expiry date contract की, right? Every month contract expires. Weekly index derivatives में तो every week it expires. अब तो निफ्टी और सेंसेक्स ही रहने वाला है, फिर निफ्टी, बैंक निफ्टी, मिड कैप निफ्टी सब बाहर, बैंक एक्स बाहर. They are all going to be monthly only, right? I'm sure all of you are aware of it. तो वहाँ पे weekly contracts भी है. So you have these expiries. तो start of the day or start of the expiry, you see 100% पे प्रीमियम होता है, right? And slowly, gradually, if you say on day 0, प्रीमियम 0 हो जाता है, मतलब वो 0 हो जाता है प्रीमियम. Why? Because ऑप्शन के प्राइजेस रोज नीचे जाते हैं अगर ऑप्शंस अंडरलाइंग आपके फेवर में नहीं है. तो आपने रिलायंस का एग्जाम्पल कॉल लिया है और रिलायंस वहीं पे खड़ा है 3 दिन तक. तो जो आपने कॉल ऑप्शन 10 रुपए में लिया था ना, रिलायंस को कुछ नहीं हुआ है. आपने अगर शेयर्स लिए होते रिलायंस के, हैड यू बॉट से 100 शेयर्स ऑफ रिलायंस, are you making loss when you have bought 100 shares? No. But if you have bought the call option, because you have taken that leverage, right? You have taken a leverage. If Reliance goes up by 2%, you are making more money in call. But then 3 days agar Reliance wahi pe hai, you are making loss in options. Why? Because there is a theta decay. And option sellers know that. कि prices वहीं पे रह के नीचे गया, I'm going to make money. So odds are in their favor. Hence, option sellers take the advantage of option selling, right? So these are the advantages. Option buyer के advantages क्या है? Now, if you see the payoff. Orange line देखिए, आपका loss limited है. So if you see the horizontal line, your loss is limited to the premium paid. जहाँ पे linear line देखेंगे futures में, downside can be unlimited. So hence that shift has happened from futures to options, and that is what you should be doing. If you are bullish, and any one of you are doing more in futures, stock futures or index futures, you understand this thing pay off, and you also understand one thing, that futures का segment का market share is just 2% now. So you are among the 2% and not 98%. If options trading is 98% of the overall derivatives, the liquidity is also higher. So it's very easy to enter exit. आपका impact cost is low. When you're buying futures, your impact cost is higher. What are the parameters of option buying? This few things are really required, friends, to know. Without knowing it, if you are doing it, I think it's just, and hence it is called as gambling or speculation or lottery, right? But if you're doing it with proper research, at least looking at few things, then probably you are doing the correct, or you are trading the correct way. And that's how one should be doing. And that's what we are trying to educate, through this medium. So you can look at chart patterns, VWAP, you can look at trend lines, you can look at momentum indicators, and various other things in technicals. You should be knowing these things when you're doing options. There is one very popular strategy in market which is called iron condor, right? What is an iron condor? So it's a short iron condor. मैं क्या करता हूँ, when I know markets are within a range, friends, 5% range, at the start of the week when I said premiums are at high levels, धीरे धीरे क्या हो जाता है, 0 हो जाता है. I want to just make the advantage of or take the benefit of it. कि वो ऊपर से नीचे प्रीमियम आता है, मुझे मिल जाए, ठीक है. Now this is an example of Sensex. Suppose Sensex is at 79,100. Okay. What I will do is, मैं 2.5% up और 2.5% down ये कॉल पुट बेच देता हूँ. 5% की रेंज हो गई मेरी. Got it? मैंने बेच दिया कितने पे, 186 और 92 में मैंने बेच दिया. So I am pocketing a premium. But as I said, जब मैं बेचता हूँ तो मेरा लॉस कितना होता है, अनलिमिटेड. एंड आई डोंट डू गो विद और स्लीप विद अनलिमिटेड लॉस का टेंशन. सो रेदर आई क्रिएट विंग्स. मैं ऑप्शन बाय भी कर लेता हूँ, सो दैट कल उठ के कुछ अनसीन और अनफोर्सीन इवेंट हो जाता है कि कुछ भी वॉर व्हाटएवर, मैं प्रोटेक्टेड तो हूँ, मेरा अनलिमिटेड लॉस ना हो. तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं आगे के आउट ऑफ द मनी ऑप्शंस कॉलर पुट खरीद लेता हूँ. सो आई सेल 2.5% कॉल एंड पुट एंड आई बाई रिलेटिवली 3% और 3.5% OTM कॉल ऑप्शंस आई बाई. मुझे नेट ये करने से सेंसेक्स में कितना प्रीमियम मिला पता है, 144 रुपीज इज द प्रीमियम विच आई गॉट. मार्केट वहीं पे रह गया, ये 144 मेरे अंदर. गेटिंग माई पॉइंट. एंड इन 92% ऑफ टाइम यही होगा. केवल 8% ऑफ टाइम होगा कि आपकी रेंज के बाहर निकल गया, वो वीक आप लॉस करेंगे, और वो भी लिमिटेड ही होगा ना. ये सारे पैरामीटर्स देखकर ही आप करें. If you are doing without this, that's what we are trying to educate. If you are doing without looking at these parameters, you end up being where, you end up being on the wrong side, and then you say, okay, when I buy a call option, the prices come down, and when I sell, the prices go up. Why this happens? Because we are not looking at these parameters. We are sentimentally more driven towards market, right? अरे बहुत गिर गया, पुट ले लो. बहुत गिर गया, उसके बाद क्यों पुट ले लो? बहुत बढ़ गया, मैं रह गया, let me buy call options. So that is called fear of missing out. That cost you, and that's the reason you end up being on the 90% of the market side. You understand? So I'm not trying to say that you take a contra trade always कि बहुत सब लोग ले रहे तो मैं ले लूं. No, look at these things, understand, and then do it, and then probably the success ratio of yours would be higher. Getting my point? So 33%, when I said technically, if option buying is on your side, then how will you make money? अगर 33% मेरा चांस है जीतने का, तो मेरा क्या ज्यादा अच्छा होना चाहिए? स्ट्राइक रेट. सो व्हेन आई एम टॉसिंग अ कॉइन एंड इफ 50-50 इज द चांस टू विन, तो मैं जीत कब जाऊंगा? जब भी मैं हेड बोल रहा हूं कि टेल बोल रहा हूं, ज्यादा करके मेरे फेवर में हो. तो डिस्पाइट इट बीइंग 0.5, आई विल बी मेकिंग मनी. यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? सो स्ट्राइक रेट हायर होनी चाहिए. सो इफ आई एम 80% ऑफ द टाइम करेक्ट, okay, out of 10 times, despite 33% of the technical side that मेरा option buying में पैसा बनता है, I'll be making money because 80% तो मैं correct ही होता हूँ. To be correct, you have to look at these things, right? That's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Today we are at Investing Seekho event and we'll be asking some fun questions about Indian stock market. So let's see how it goes. Hello ma'am, आपका नाम एक बार बता दीजिए हमारे.
My name is Rashmi Tambori.
रश्मि मैम, सो हमारा फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, आपको ये इवेंट कैसा लगा? एनी फीडबैक्स फॉर अस या?
Really it was very awesome session. और as a recent investor, ये session मेरे लिए eye opener था because it really gave me a wide perspective of what investment is actually and what trade market and how it works. So it was a fantastic session for me.
I think it was a very productive event. I think it was so good that the way you covered up the whole event, I think it was fantastic after a very, very long time. I think that was the need of the hour. I think that is one thing which I should really appreciate on that.
ऐसे इवेंट रेगुलर बेसिस पे होने चाहिए. इन्वेस्टर्स को ज़्यादातर पता नहीं होता है कि किस तरह की मार्केट में हलचल हो रही है. ये एजुकेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है और इसको ये टाइम पास बिजनेस ना समझना के फुल टाइम बिजनेस समझ के इस पे एजुकेशन और ट्रेनिंग लेने की जरूरत है.
What do you think stock market or Indian market will go in coming years?
So overall, India as a success story has been reiterated here also, and I would just second that. The reason being, like, we have just started. We just started maybe like 30-40 years back when stock market in fact came into existence, and now we are in fact doing the mature trading and with the use of AI and algorithmic trading. I think that is going to be a success.
Any specific things or feedback about our event?
Yeah, it's a lot of learning. In fact, share market is everything all about learning. The more you spend time over into this month, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the less mistakes or the more mistakes you commit.
That is true, sir.
So if you have to do something more, so definitely you need to attend this type of things.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all related documents carefully before investing.